First off, our thoughts and prayers should be down in Texas again. You assume on a Sunday you go to church, that's a safe haven for you to worship. But unfortunately, that's not where we are right now. So, again, we just have to pray and hope that, they can make it through, a tough situation. On a closer note, too, you won't see Hardy Nickerson around here this week much. His mother passed away unexpectedly yesterday evening. So he won't be here today, and we'll kind of, work around the schedule this week. Moving on to football, we've, when you've lost as many games as we have, it's, and you move into the third quarter of your season, or the fourth quarter of your season, you're just trying to look for some bright things to, of course, keep the players motivated, keep us all in a pretty good frame of mind. And you look at the game, going back to the Purdue game, and it's been kind of the story a few weeks. We played pretty good football for moments of time. Not being able to put together full 4 quarters of football has really hurt us. And, of course, that was the case this past week. All right up until the fourth quarter, you see we're in the football games, but some things we're doing just won't allow us to finish the game. We have to find a way. We have 3 games starting, of course, with Indiana this week to try to get these things corrected. Cam Thomas, most of the time, a lot, is placed on the quarterback and what is happening with the quarterback. Cam Thomas took a step. There are a couple of passes that, we would like to have back. All weren't his fault. Sometimes you just look, you assume it's maybe an overthrown ball or, maybe it's a route or some other things that went wrong with it. But he gave us a chance with some of the things that he did, running the football and passing too. We need to do a better job up front. Kendrick Foster, as we said last time, did some good things. Defensive side, I thought our defensive line, especially our 2 inside guys, did some good things. But not good enough, and you move on. Hopefully, injury-wise, we'll get some of our players back. A couple of our defensive linemen, and we'll kind of see. Since we don't practice today, we're still in the evaluation process with that. But we're a little banged up right now, and but nobody wants to hear about that. Again, Indiana's in a similar situation. I know they've lost, a few games where they've been in a lot of the games and haven't been able to finish the football game too. So we're glad to be back at home, playing again here, and hopefully we can finish a game. Take your question.
See, what happens in Hardy's absence in terms of?
We're kind of working through that. We have a couple different options to go through it, though. We have a few guys that, know a little bit of football on that side.
You expect him to be back for the game?
Don't really know right now. Again, this all happened unexpectedly yesterday evening, so we're still working through that.
She in California?
She's in California, yes. Again, I'd like to give you more information, but we don't know much more than that. When anything happens family-wise, our policy, what I insist on them doing is taking care of your family. The rest of us, I'll pick up the slack for anything else needs to be done here.
Would this be a situation where you would basically take over the defense for this week?
All right, we'll have a plan. We haven't really gotten to that. We'll be okay. We'll get it through some kind of way. I have called a couple of defensive games and know a little bit about defensive football, so we may be okay.
On the injury front, just the number that you've seen here in the last few weeks, is it extraordinary? Is it kind of hard for
Well,
how do you look at it?
Well, I just got to look at it the way it is. We have a lot of injuries, and is it this the norm? I don't know. We didn't have this many last year, but it happens like that. Through my time in sports, I mean, some years you have more injuries than others for whatever reason. That's how it goes. But you just keep moving on. You find a lot of things about your football team. We're already playing a lot of players, a lot of young players, and what this has allowed us to do is see more players. So, and a lot of these injuries haven't been season-ending. So, you have a couple get injured and a few get back. So hopefully we're going to get, some of our players back this week that we need.
Could Trey Watson return this season? Is that
He could,
possible?
yes, that's a possibility also. He's making progress. So hopefully that will be the case.
Coach, has Kendrick Foster done enough to keep his job once everybody is healthy and running back?
I think that's going a little far, Bob. I mean, we're just looking at right now on who we have. I hope we're in a situation injury-wise where we have those kind of options. But Kendrick did some good things the other day, and I don't even know if we have any other running backs that even, compete, for playing time right now. But that should be the case. Hopefully we will. Reggie Corbin, of course, is close, and he probably could have played a little bit more last game.
With such a young team and so many guys that were so successful in high school, how do they respond to losses piling up, and what's your message to them as that happens?
Well, I mean, first off, reality is there's no fun losing, and how you respond to it, you should hurt and feel bad when you lose and work for ways to correct it. We're getting a lot of practice at this. But when you're a young football player, you hadn't been in this situation, I mean, they're resilient. They've been bouncing back fairly quick. So I know the guys are excited about going to practice, have another opportunity to improve on things. When you're young, I think that's the way you respond. And as a coaching staff, we have to keep going, moving them in that direction. And that's what we've seen. As I talked about this last game, we had lost quite a few games before this last one, but the guys showed up, and they were plugging away. We were plugging away, just couldn't finish it. So we're seeing the same type of fight in our guys.
You're talking about the big picture, looking for things to keep them going. What have you seen as a staff that has you guys thinking, maybe a year or two will be where we want to be?
I think you just look at what has happened this year. First off, playing a lot of players, getting a lot of playing time. We know our roster a lot better. And from the players that it's just not getting a lot of playing time, we're seeing improvement from young players going through. And until you see it translating into a win, it's hard to tell you all the things that we're improving on behind the scene, but we are. Again, until we win, it doesn't mean an awful lot. I'll just tell you that we're getting better as a football team. But there are some critical moments. Go back to this game. We were in it right up until. Made some big mistakes there that we need to correct, but hopefully we won't make those mistakes again.
Are there any of those moments behind the scenes that you take as a coach like that we don't see? What are some of those things?
That you want me to tell you as a coach? As I say,
What's encouraging, I guess, behind the scenes?
everything that we're doing right now, all right, behind the scenes is encouraging, all right, except for winning the football game. And what you're talking about as a coach are the players showing up every day doing what we're asking them to do. Yes. There are a lot of major things going on off of the field. No. It's just that right now, and you keep grinding. When one player goes down, another player is stepping up. Those are the type. It's these little small battles that you're winning behind the scene. There's nothing I can tell you that, oh, this is why. It's not like that. It's just these little baby steps that we're taking along the way. It's what you have to grasp right now.
You said there's some things that are keeping you from finishing games the way you want. What do you see as maybe holding this team back?
Mistakes that we're making. Some of the things that you probably, know about that you're asking about. Some of those things. Shouldn't have to spell it all to you. Mistakes, penalties, decisions we need to do better, put the guys in better situation. When you're losing football games, it's all of that. We got to do a better job coaching. Players have to handle the situation better. Our preparation has to get better. And all these things we're working on behind the scene.
Can you just talk about how Kendrick's demeanor has been, being a week one starter, not getting a lot of playing time due to the Epstein's emergence, and then getting back in the backfield, and just how he's kind of handled that adversity, that personal adversity?
For you to know Kendrick Foster, he's a team player. Everything you're looking for. I'm talking about as a coach, and what you want to see in a player. I think he has worked extremely hard in all seasons. He's done everything we've asked him to do. But as a football player, your role changes. When you have more than one player at a position, your role can change at any time. And the true team players, whatever that role is, they embrace it. That's what we've seen from him. We saw that from him week 1, throughout the tough time when he wanted more time. We saw that. Then you look for other ways to get a player involved. We let him return kicks. But now, again, if you just hang in there, eventually what you want to do, I think you end up being able to do. And that's play running back right now. And as I said, he did some good things this past week. He'll get more opportunities this weekend.
Thomas took the majority of snaps this past week. Is that a sign that he has solidified a role as starting QB or the number 1 QB? Or is that
Without going over, who starts, I just normally try to have a little policy of not going into a whole lot of that on, Monday, before we even go out. I think if you just look at the trend, got a little, he's gotten more and more, got most of the reps last week. And I started off the press conference talking about the good things he did in the game. I think you can see where we're heading. And that's all you really look for from a young player. He's taken big leaps. But now, that one leap of carrying his team to a win, that's the next step for him.
How much do you think it helped him, Lovie, to hit that first pass to Ricky, just to get his feet under him and a little confidence?
It has to help when you have early success. But he has a strong arm. And, again, there were a couple of balls that were incompletions that we wouldn't say were his fault. So protected the football for the most part. And again, some of the plays where we had success, a lot of it was on him. Just breaking the tackle, doing whatever. So hopefully he'll take another step this week, like where he's headed.
What's changed with Jamal and Tanvir? They seem more consistent just between
It's Jeremy, I wish I could tell you why a guy, but I think if you stay in the game, as we talk about, you just keep plugging away, and you keep going to practice, doing things right, correcting mistakes that you've made. Eventually, you get over the hump when you're a talented player. Jamal Milan has a lot of ability, and it's been about a 3-week period where we've seen steps each week of him doing some good things. I think he's a legitimate inside defensive lineman, and I think he played over 50 reps or so this past week, and we'll need him to continue to play like that. He's been stepping up. He's been banged up a little bit, not complaining about any of that stuff, so just like where he is right now.
Did you get a chance to see Justin Hardy's play with restoration?
No, I didn't, but we try to keep up with what's happening with all of our players out there and how they're doing on Sundays. Of course, Justin was here on his bye week. He loves the university quite a bit. And, so for him to have a game like that, of course, Sean Payton, spoke at our clinic. Sean's a friend, so it was good to see them kind of play that way. But I heard about it, so a big play for him.
Your thoughts on this Indiana team and what you've seen so far?
Few thoughts. Just talking offensively. Spread it out an awful lot. Throw the ball. Probably the last month or so, we probably played teams that were more, I would say running football teams that can pass. More of a passing team that will run now is how I would describe them. But they'll spread it out, throw it around quite a bit, but also have a pretty good running attack. Lost a lot of close games, so it'll be a challenge that way. Other side of the ball, active, relied in the past on taking the ball away, play hard. So that's the type of team we'll see coming in here. Two teams that are desperately needing a win.
What kind of progress have you seen from your pass defense?
Well, I was kind of thinking about the pass defense. I mean, we've had a lot of trouble with the run here lately, but just talking pass defense, thought we were in pretty good shape, which we had made this past game, which we had made a couple of the big passes we can't give up in pretty good situations, besides giving up a couple of deep balls. We're not set up to give up deep balls like nobody is, but that shouldn't happen an awful lot. Wish we had played a couple of those better, but we're having a great opportunity to show where we are this week.
What did you see from your offensive line Saturday? It seemed like kind of two different games for them.
Well, we didn't play as well as we need to play, but when you have your center go down late in the week like we did with Doug Kramer, and we had Kristen Lario playing guard, and we had a little different rotation in mind that threw us back a little bit. So we didn't handle that situation as well as you would like to, but it's tough when you don't have the great depth the way we have it right now. So we need to play better this week. To answer your question.
Coach, the last couple of weeks you haven't reached your goal of 3 turnovers in a game. How do you get
I'm sorry, one more time.
The last couple of weeks you haven't been reaching your goal of 3 turnovers a game. How do
Yes.
you get the team refocused on trying to take the ball away?
Just talking about it as much as we possibly can. I mean, we practice it the same way. It's the same emphasis on it. Sometimes it just doesn't happen as much as anything. But we had a couple opportunities, though, at the same time. I mean, we dropped an interception that we should have caught, and wish we had gotten a couple more of them. We'll just keep putting that emphasis and try to have the guys focus on it a little bit more. A game like that, I mean, it could be, as we talk about getting over the hump, most times you can kind of look to that. A few more takeaways this past week, and who knows.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, thank you.